Hello, Deadpool here. I always wanted to be a professional athlete. Because I wanted to have children in cities all over the world.
Alright guys, today we're going to be giving you a review of the Deadpool movie. And let's see if you can guess the location I'm at this time, because I couldn't decide where to go. Now, I'm going to give you the non-spoiler review first. That way, if you just want to know my opinions, you can get them and you can leave. The non-spoiler review is go see this stupid movie. It's amazing. I have nothing but praise to say about this. Now, I'm already a super Deadpool fan, so I'm going to tell you, I'm extremely biased. Deadpool's one of my favorite superheroes, so of course I loved the movie. That's your non-spoiler review. This is your chance. You may now leave before the spoiler. You may now go. You may now leave. That was your warning. Let's begin. So overall, the movie felt like an X-Men movie, but with Deadpool, and I loved that. One of my favorite lines was about midway through the movie, Deadpool makes a reference about which Professor X are we talking about. Is it Stewart or McAvoy? Because the timelines are all messed up. You wouldn't even be able to tell that it's not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe unless you knew that it really wasn't supposed to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. A lot of my friends who don't know what's going on with that entire thing, they were like, well, where are the Avengers during this? And you know what? Where the Avengers are don't even matter. And they even kind of like slightly referenced, I know there's an Easter egg where someone said the boat near the end of the movie might actually be like, it's supposed to be a version of the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier. Either way, the atmosphere was great. It felt like it was a part of the X-Men movies, but it could have very easily be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I loved their use of the X-Men. I loved the use of the X-Men Manor, and I loved the fact that the X-Men Manor had nobody in there even walking around the grounds when we did a shot out in the open, because you know what? The joke is, we can only afford 2 X-Men. We can't even afford the extras to walk around the X-Men Manor. Let's talk about the costumes that they used. Now, first off, the Deadpool costume itself was amazing. I mean, if you've watched any of the X-Men movies brought to you by Fox, then basically you know that they just love leather, and it really doesn't look good. None of the characters actually look like the characters that they're supposed to be looking like, but Deadpool himself looked amazing. It actually looked like Deadpool. We had a great costume for Negasonic Teenage Warhead, considering the fact that she doesn't look that great in the comic books. That's my opinion, maybe not yours, but I didn't like how she looked in the comic books, so I think they did a great job for the actual movie. My only real complaint is how they did Colossus. While I loved the fact that they did a fully CG Colossus and made him powered up the entire time, I did not really like how they made him look in the end. At the end of the whole thing, it kind of looked, he felt odd, like there was a cartoon in the middle of the movie. I wished even at one point he had depowered so we could look so we could basically see how he looked. But overall, I mean, I guess that was part of the joke, a fully CG character. I did find it funny that he was in fully powered up mode in full CG eating cereal. That just felt really weird, not a place, and that, you know, overall, I did not like how it looked. I did like what they did with it though. Alright, so let's talk about the characters in the movie. First up, we have our heroes. We have Deadpool, we have Colossus, we have Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and then of course we have the villains. We have Ajax and all of his cronies, various random mutants that don't matter. And you know what? I loved him. I loved their use of the character Deadpool. First off, he looked amazing, like I said earlier, and he acted like Deadpool. He didn't have to super crazy. He didn't act like a cartoon character. He acted like, I'm Deadpool and I don't make sense. But on top of that, we had Negasonic Teenage Warhead. She was great, and I love the fact that they played off of the fact that no one knows who she is. She had like maybe 10, maybe 12 issues, and she was a nobody character that got killed off to represent sacrifice in the X-Men, and that was awesome. And in the movie, she barely spoke. Her whole thing was she was a teenage kid. That was amazingly awesome. On top of that, we had Colossus. As much as I didn't like Colossus's costume, really didn't like the full CG Colossus look, and I know a lot of people did, but as much as I didn't, I loved his character. He was awesome. His speech at the end that Deadpool interrupted was just amazing. The villains were all perfect, none of them too over the top. They were all just right up the right alley of being a Deadpool villain to give us more Deadpool, less of a villain trying to rule the world. So let's go ahead and talk about the origins of the characters. Now, first up, they revamped Deadpool's origins ever so slightly to make him stand better on his own. One problem with Deadpool, any Deadpool fan knows, is you never know if you should call him a mutant or a mutate, because he got his powers from Wolverine, and that's where he got his regeneration abilities. Well, in this movie, they explained his regeneration abilities as something that needed to be pulled out of him. So he was a mutant himself, not a mutate. And personally, I liked that. One thing I think has always held back Deadpool is the fact that he's always been kind of like inside of Wolverine's origin. So by giving him his own origin finally is something that I really enjoyed. The only other character that really got a origin of his own was Ajax, and making him dishwashing soap really makes his name a lot better. So the movie is R-rated, and while it's not the first R-rated superhero movie, we had Punisher, we had Blade, it is the first R-rated movie ever since Marvel took over the whole entire superhero scene. They've made everything PG-13, and they've made it family friendly. And you know what? This proves we don't need everything to be family friendly. We don't need family friendly movies all the time. No, what we actually need are movies that adults adults want to see. And the reason why adults want to see this is quite simple. Because we love comic books. We're the ones funding all of these comic book video games and movies and stuff like that. And while kids, they love it too, they're not the ones making the money. This is my rant why R-rated superhero movies are needed. But not only that, it broke multiple R-rated movie records, and I'm putting them all on the screen right now. If I could point and make it look cool, I would do that, but it's just gonna go bing on the screen right now. And that's exactly what's gonna happen. Deadpool being R-rated is one of the most amazing things ever, and all of the records it broke is amazing. That's all I gotta say about that. Deadpool was amazing, and it being R-rated is amazing. So that's basically it. I'm a huge fan of Deadpool, so I know that this review is very biased. But I love the movie. The fact that it's R-rated, the humor that they gave Deadpool, the fact that they didn't make him a cartoon character, all of the additional characters they brought into. I loved their play on the whole timeline. Is it Patrick Stewart or is it McAvoy? I loved the jokes like, oh, we can only afford 2 X-Men. That's the gist of it. I loved the movie. And I hope, really, really hope that this is the beginning of a lot of good things to come for superhero movies. I really do. That's it basically, guys. If you enjoyed this review, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more reviews. I'll be doing them for every one of the movies that come out and maybe various vloggy kind of stuff that I just want to talk about. I'm Eddie the Comicstorian, and I'll see you guys next time right here. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat @Comicstorian.